College Classic. Did you say College Classic Camp? Well, sure you did. You said College Classic Campus Hits, and we're reading books here, so I thought you might want to read with me. This one's called The Study Guide of Dr. David Jeremiah, Facing the Giants in Your Life. You ever run into a guy who's like about 7'1" or 7'3", and his name is Kobe Bryant, or a guy who's 8'1", 8'3", 8'7", and his name is Shaquille O'Neal. And then after that, you run into some girl who's about 6'3", and she stands taller than Shaquille O'Neal, and she stands shorter than Shaquille O'Neal, but taller than Kobe Bryant, and she says she's only 6'3". Don't believe her. Don't believe her. This is College Classic Campus Hits. You know it is. If fear disobeys God's principles, why? Because there is no love in fear, because fear hath torment. It cannot be made perfect in love. When we don't believe, we usually don't obey. Verse 26 documents that Israel rebelled against the command of the Lord. They were afraid. Yes, they were scared. Yes. So they were kind of may sound a bit harsh, but I believe it to be true. Fear is disobeying God. Many, many times in the Bible we are told, fear not, or do not be afraid. No, we are told by God not to fear, and we choose to live in fear. What are we doing? We are disobeying God. He says, do not be afraid. I will always be with you. So don't be afraid. But a lot of us are afraid. And because we are afraid, bad things happen to us. I know that God was talking to me one time, and he told me, I told you not to be afraid, but you didn't listen to me. And I told you not to be sorry, and you started apologizing. Well, I didn't have a choice. I started picking on everybody else. Yes, but I would have vindicated you. Well, yeah, I know you're going to, but still those people are still going to be hurt. People are going to get hurt, and they threaten families. What do you do about that? Well, listen. So many times in the Bible we are told, fear not, or do not be afraid. Now, we are told by God not to fear, and we choose to live in fear. We are doing, what are we doing? We are doing, what are we doing? We are doing, what are we doing? We are not doing what we're supposed to do. I'll tell you that right now. No, we are disobeying God. And because the people did not obey God, they did not go up into the land and receive from God what he had promised to give them. The entire generation of those adults who succumbed to the fear of the 10 spies were kept from going up and receiving their inheritance in the land. And the generation spent the next 40 years wandering in the wilderness, slowly dying off to the last one. Meaning that God didn't allow famine and plague to kill them. He allowed them to die of old age. Now, we see in Revelation 6 that God has said, they said, how long, Lord? How long till you avenge our deaths? He says, oh, here's some white robes. Go ahead and go relax somewhere. Go rest. Be quiet. Shut up. Go rest. Until your fellow brethren as yourself have been killed. So go be quiet. So they would not take their inheritance of the land that God had promised them. Milk and honey, 1,000 years of prosperity, and you reign with Christ 1,000 years. And so they didn't believe that. They weren't willing to live not their lives even unto death. Or did they? That generation spent the next 40 years wandering in the wilderness, slowly dying off, and their children's generation was of an adult age, and the only two people allowed to go into the land from the disobedient generation were Joshua and Caleb. And the two spies who wanted the people to trust God for victory in the promised land. And when When fear grips our lives, it ultimately destroys everything God wants to do in and through us. I have known people to whom God has given a vision, a direction of life, and a ministry, but who failed to follow through with God because of fear. As a result, their lives became rambling, meaningless journeys instead of focused, purposeful missions. Fear can steal away the very thing God wants to give you. In America today, a lot of people have turned to ISIS. Their families were Christian, they're now ISIS, and they want you to respect ISIS. Now they're going to have to leave. They're not going to be able to sit with us. What do we do when fear is knocking at the door of our heart? How do we keep it from taking control? 5 principles will protect you from being controlled by fear. And we'll do the next 5 episodes on that alone. This is College Classic Campus Hits. Do you know anyone who has turned to ISIS here in America who shouldn't have, and they want ISIS to take over? Well, first of all, that's against the law because they sue. They have team leaders and team members. And second of all, they're not welcome here. And third of all, if ISIS doesn't take over, God will allow you to be thwarted, plagued, famine, or beasted by the field. And there's nothing any of you can do about it. If God says that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen. I'm T.C. Barr. This is College Classic Campus Hits. God bless you.